Hey everyone, Preda here, back with another statue review. We're going to be doing Batman from Prime1 Studios, their Hush line. And then we're going to do a little bit of something different here. Just going to kind of give you guys a background of how I got into statue collecting and stuff. So right after this. Alright, welcome back everyone. So like I said, I'm going to go over a little bit about something about me and collecting and how I got into collecting 1/4 scale and above, larger statues. I collected a bunch of Bowen designs a long time ago and I sold all those off and then got into the 1/4. So how I got into that. So we were actually on vacation in Orlando at the Universal Studios, and if you're familiar with that, they have a Marvel section where they have rides and stuff. They have a store in there. It's got comic books and statues, obviously, and T-shirts, stuff like that. So that's why Red Skull's here. So Red Skull is actually my first 1/4 scale that I bought, and I got it at that store in Universal Studios. It was kind of an interesting story to get it back here into Colorado. I had to take it on the plane, and I didn't want to check it in because you never know what kind of damage they're going to do. So I took it on, and this was before 9/11. So the stewardess actually let me put it in one of the empty seats and just strap it in with a seat belt. So that's kind of the interesting story behind that. So it's the Red Skull premium format from Sideshow. I really like it. Obviously it's very cool. It is a material, it's clothing and stuff is all material, but they did a really good job. It's a very accurate rendition. So that's kind of how I got into this. So let me get him out of the way though, so that we can get started with the review. All right, so I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with this as far as the kind of the issues with it, so we'll get into a little bit of that. So we're going to go over kind of the architecture of it and the design, and then we'll do like the sculpt and talk about the paint a little bit and just kind of overall. So what I want to start with is basically the architecture. So the way it's designed, he's leaning forward. It's the sculpted cape version, so they definitely it's massive. So there's a problem with it where a lot of people started leaning. So in order to take care of that, Prime1 released this and sent it out to all of the people who ordered it. And it's supposed to go under the cape over there to keep it from leaning. Mine hasn't had a problem with it at all yet, so it doesn't even really touch the pillar here. So I'm not using it yet, but if it does start to lean, then I'll have that to put in there. So that's one of the issues with it, but the architecture, just the pose and everything that he's got, the action pose, I love the action poses. The museum poses are nice, but I'm definitely more into the action poses. So the sculpt, the cape, like I said, is sculpted. It's amazing, even though it's super heavy. I wish they would try to cast it in a lighter resin, so maybe it wouldn't be so heavy, but it looks fantastic. But again, the action pose, he's kind of leaning forward, crouching over. So he's not as tall as a lot of the other Hush line that they've come out with, but he fits in really well. He's the same size, essentially, just crouched over. So the base, it's kind of simple. They put in a lot of wear and tear in it, make it look old. Cracks and whatnot in it, to the bricks in the back here. So they sculpted it really well, and they of course put the Batman symbol. You can't go without the Batman symbol in the base. But architecturally, they did a fantastic job. It's just that leaning issue that some people were having, but they tried to take care of that by getting the pillar here. But he is massive, as you can see. So the sculpt himself, so the outfit, they sculpted in texture to it, which I'm a big fan of it. I like it kind of mixed. The gloves and stuff, not as much texture. They're pretty smooth, and his cowl on his head. And then the cape as well. Not a ton of texture, but just enough to make it kind of like leather. So the sculpt, his belt here, they did a good job. They sculpted in, you know, like if there's something in the pouch, and they sculpted it to where it's, you know, contours to his leg here. The batarang, I really like it. It's pretty cool. It's like a real rope here, or it feels like one anyway. The magnets on it are super strong. Like it goes on really well. So this is the head I chose. I like this one better out of all of them. The cape here kind of goes into a hole in his chest, and then the head goes on top of that. There's a little bit of a seam here underneath the cape that you can see, but it's only if you're up close to it at an angle. Again, they sculpted these nice with a lot of cracks and stuff in them, and then the bricks on the backs, which is I really like. They did a good job with it. They got a little bit of a Joker gun here with the bang symbol on, or the bang sign. And then this just goes into the gun, and then the gun goes into the base right here. And it just kind of sits there like that. And the flow, they sculpted the cape. I really like that flow they gave it to him on the side here, kind of hanging to the side of him. So that's the sculpt. So the paint. Fantastic. I haven't noticed any issues with the paint. Just the way they do it, you know, with the muscle lines here, as far as like it's kind of shadowed. They make it a little darker in those crevices. And then the outfit, like his gloves and the cape, it's blue, but it's got that like black, as if it's like dark or shadowed, you know. They made a black version, a newer one. It's just a black outfit instead of the blue. I like the blue outfit, so I'm glad I got this one. The black one's cool, but I like the blue outfits on Batman better. But yeah, the paint is fantastic. If you can see here, just the wear and tear and stuff that they got over here, it looks like they got like some old vines hanging on here. And then again, the blue and then the black, like in the lines and the crevices and stuff in the cape. So paint is fantastic. Like I said, I didn't see anything wrong with it. Architecturally, it's probably an 8 out of 10 just because of the leaning issue. Like I said, if the cape would have been lighter, it wouldn't have been an issue. But they did release that pillar to try and make up for that. Sculpt, I really like the sculpt on it. Like I said, I love the action pose. It's definitely a 10 out of 10 for me. And then the paint, again, that would probably be a 10 out of 10, just because they did such a good job. So, I mean, overall, I would say probably 9 out of 10. I mean, it is a big knock that if it starts leaning with the cape, but again, I'll just start using the pillar at that point. So, alright, so that is the review on the Hush Batman from Prime1 Studio. I have a couple other statues that just came in. I have the Optimus Prime from XM. I'm going to do a workup on that one. And then I have the Barricade from the Transformer movies. It just got pushed back actually to Monday, so I should get it Monday. And then I'll do that one. But each time I'm going to try to give you kind of just a background on what I do and why I collect statues and what I like in those statues. So if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. Don't forget to click that subscribe and click that bell so you get notified when I upload new videos. Thanks for watching, everyone.